You are, Jerry. So you can see, I was making my way like the neighborhood was a system of braille, and I was touching everything clumsily and sometimes gently, sometimes awkwardly. I was trying to find my way in this new environment. The next transition that really impacted me was the death of my father, even though we were estranged. And this is how it all went down. It was after closing time when my father trudged home from his favorite bar that February night. It was cold, and the sidewalks of Inwood Park neighborhood lined with mounds of recently snowed snow, the concrete icy in places. As he walked unsteadily back to his one-room flop house on 207th Street and 10th Avenue, jacket collar upturned against the cold, his heart seized up, as if the fist of God was squeezing the life out of it. The shock and pain felled him immediately. He clutched his chest in too much agony to call out. Yet it was not to be a quick and merciful passing for my father. Like every other step of this life, this too was going to be without ease or grace. No. Instead of dying quickly from his heart attack, my father lay on a frigid street in Manhattan and awaited the banshee's call and her arrival. As the coroner explained to my mother when she went to identify his body, my father did not die of heart failure. He actually froze to death over a number of hours. Whether he could not call out for help, or whether no one was on the street at that time of night, or whether passers-by only saw another Irish drunk and simply walked on by, is impossible to know. My father was 59 when he died. And in those accumulated years, he had seen his native Ireland convulsed in rebellion and civil war in a bid for nationhood. He'd immigrated to America, had worked the longshore, and had fathered my sister and me. He had sung me and Peggy to sleep in his native Irish language. He had saved Jimmy Bradley, and he'd become my hero. Finally, he had stood by and allowed us to be taken to the Bronx, causing my love for him to become occluded with confusion, disappointment, anger. Even those sporadic times before his death when my mother would take Peggy and me to see him in his one-room walk-up, complete with hot plate, noirish flashing neon sign outside the window, and the sounds from the Broadway elevated train overhead, I felt the distance between him and me. Even when we all went for a picnic in nearby Inwood Park, or for a hamburger in a diner on Dyckman Street, the air was fraught with awkwardness, tentativeness that none of us ever seemed able to overcome. The other piece of information that my mother discovered when she went to identify my father's body at the morgue was that another person was there to identify it as well. His other wife. His still legal wife. The woman he had married in Ireland and whom he had sent for when he first came to America. The woman he had 3 other children with. The woman he had separated from at some point before meeting my mother. For obvious reasons, their existence had been hidden from my mother, that my father went ahead with their wedding regardless. Now it became horrifyingly clear that my mother's marriage to my father was not legal. And therefore my sister and I were now officially bastard offspring. In retrospect, it is little wonder that when my mother told my sister and me that our father was dead, she was reeling from multiple shockwaves pummeling her from conflicting directions. the grief over the passing of the only man she ever loved, and the deep anger and betrayal roiling inside her over this secret now revealed. It is also little wonder that in the immediate aftermath of my father's passing, that nothing was spoken about him inside the confines of 3987 Saxon Avenue. Not only did this revelation about the existence of another family